Hey you guys, this is Tracy Panase with Just Between Friends, and I'd like to thank you for signing up to help with our inspection during one of our upcoming sales. So I'm going to walk you through what goes on as an inspection team member, and we're going to talk about two things. First, we're going to talk about what you're looking for in terms of the quality of items, as well as just some general technical things that consignors are expected to do. First things first, when people come to you, to your station, they should have a card that looks like this. It's a brightly colored inspection card. And they should also have a sticker. So the sticker is either going to be a colored sticker or a white sticker like this, or it will be pink. And the pink stickers mean that they're a perfect consignor. So for perfect consignors, we're just spot checking their items. We're looking for things very quickly. But if it's white or yellow or blue, you're going to be looking things through more thoroughly, because those are people that need a full inspection versus a perfect inspection, which is just a quick spot check. So that's the first thing. If they do not have a sticker, that means they have not checked in and they need to go back up to the front. Likewise, if they don't have a card, they need to go get a card. So once you've established that, you can put their card down, and now we're going to look to make sure that all of their items are hanging. They can bring onesies and sleepers in a Ziploc bag. We're not inspecting those items. We are just looking at your hanging items. So this consignor has brought me their rack. You can see everything is hanging. However, not everything is hanging the right way. So the opening of the hanger should be forming a question mark to the left. You can see this particular item is backwards. So in this case, we are going to need to help this consignor to change the direction of the hanger. So use your best judgment in how many items the consignor has that are incorrectly hung as to whether or not we want to take them out of the line and get another volunteer to help them, or how to handle that. And you can ask your team leader for guidance in that regard. So checking to make sure that. You also want to make sure that everything is tagged using white cardstock. This particular item is on bright orange cardstock. That may interfere with the scanning of the barcode. And so again, this is something you would want to ask your team leader about, so that we can decide whether or not we're able to accept these items. So once we've looked at kind of that technical aspect, the hangers and the color of the cardstock, now you're going to start to look for these items for quality and seasonality. This is a spring-summer event, so we are looking for things that your child is generally going to wear between April and September. And if you're not sure, there will be on your table a list of our seasonal guidelines. I'm going to walk you through that, but you do have this as a cheat sheet, and you can consult that when you arrive for your shift. So short sleeve, lightweight things are what we are looking for. This would be okay. It's a little bit darker, but because of the weight of the fabric, we're going to accept that. This item, it is long sleeves. We don't take long sleeves over 24 months unless it is particularly themed for Easter or other holidays, and I'll show you some examples of this. So this we would not accept. And what we recommend is, when you do not accept an item, you just take it to the end of your rack. You don't need to explain yourself to your customer, but just keep going, and then at the end we will tell the consignor what we've accepted and what we have not accepted. So you just kind of quickly go through it. Now this is long sleeve. It's over 24 months. It's a size 2T, but clearly this is something that we would wear in the spring and summer and not in the fall winter. So this would be okay. And again, you're looking to make sure that there's no rips, stains, tears, that if there are buttons that need to be buttoned, they're all buttoned. If your consignor is standing here and these things are not buttoned or snapped, you can ask them to do that while you're looking at the other items. This does have long sleeves. It's a size 2T, but again, this is something that you would wear during the summer months because of the theme of strawberries and just the lightweight fabric. So that's okay. Also want to make sure that if it's something strappy like this, it has been pinned, otherwise it will fall off of the hanger. We have supplies available, You are not expected to pin things for the consignor, but you want to tell them to take a few extra minutes to do that so that their items can sell. Because if it falls on the ground and the tag is detached, then we're not going to be able to sell that item. So I'm looking through all of this. This all looks good. Okay, so now we get down to something like this. Okay, this is something that we would be unable to accept because this is something that would generally be worn during the fall months. So I'm going to put that on the end. Likewise, we will accept windbreakers, but this coat has a little bit more lining. It's heavier, you can feel it. This is something we would save for the spring, or sorry, for the fall. So this is a hoodie with a zipper. If it has a zipper, then we would be able to accept this because it can be worn as a jacket. You want to look for size 12 and under that there's no drawstrings at the neck, because if there are drawstrings, that is a recall. We either need to remove the string or the consignor needs to take it home with them because we are not able to sell that. This item also, because it has a zipper, is going to be okay. If it's a hoodie that does not have a zipper, then they're going to need to save it for fall. So I've gone through all of these items and I want to congratulate my consignor. Everything here looks great. These items we are unable to accept. You're going to take a piece of landscape tape and tie them. And just tell the consignor we're unable to accept these items, and then they will go on a rack in the inspection area. The consignor can pick these up before they leave. So that's all you need to do with that. So they're going to take this stuff, you're going to take this, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take their shoes. You are not responsible for inspecting shoes. We have a completely separate shoe inspection area. So if you're doing clothing, you're only focused on clothing. If you're doing shoes, we're going to get to that next. But the clothing inspector is going to take a basket like this. And again, your consignor can be helping you and she can be doing this while you're looking at their clothing. You're going to throw all of their shoes into this basket. You'll take their inspection card, put that into the basket. So on this inspection card, we've noted anything that was rejected. We've also noted that things were done correctly with the hangers and with the cardstock. And this card is going to travel with the shoes to the shoe inspection area. So you're going to send your consignor to that area, and then these shoes will be inspected. The last thing you're going to tell your consignor before they leave your area is that if they have anything with a polyfill that will need to be sprayed, you just want to direct them to the sanitation area. Also, as you're inspecting, there are limits in 2 categories, juniors and maternity. For each of those, we only take 10 hanging items per consignor. For the juniors, those are sizes 0 through 5, and they're brands like American Eagle, Abercrombie, and Aeropostale. And for maternity, also 10 items. However, we do accept all seasons of maternity. So winter as well as spring are perfectly fine for the sale. All right, let's talk shoes. We are picky about the quality and condition of shoes at the Just Between Friends sale. Therefore, we have a separate shoe inspection area. Your consignor is going to come to you with a basket like this that will have an inspection card in there. So that way you know that all of these shoes belong to this one person. And you're going to be looking for 3 things. You're going to be looking for the quality of the shoes, the seasonality to make sure that it's appropriate for spring and summer, and then you're also going to be looking at the size. Once you have the basket, you'll pull out each pair of shoes, looking closely at the soles and at the toes to make sure there's no excessive scuff marks and not excessively dirty at the bottom, and then the seasonality. So these would be great because these are clearly for spring and summer. A little pair of shoes like this. This is also great in terms of the seasonality. You can see there's a couple of little marks on the shoes, but overall these are in really good condition, so these would be accepted. As they're accepted, you're going to throw them into bins that are sorted by size and by gender. So that way, at the conclusion of drop-off, everything is already sorted and we're just simply putting them out on the rack. A pair of shoes like this, number one, they're more appropriate for fall because of the color, but they're also really kind of in bad shape, so we would not accept these. So rejected shoes are going to go back into this basket for the consignor. You will have little slips where you can write their consignor number and then the number of shoes that were rejected. You'll put this little slip stapled to their inspection card, and then it'll get thrown. This copy we keep, and then another copy will be put into their basket so they know what to look for when leaving. Let's talk a little bit about what we don't accept in terms of quality or size. So these two pairs of shoes are really in good condition, but this is a size 8 adult, and this is a size 9 women's. We only go up to size 7 adult, which is equivalent to size 5 for big kids. So we would reject these shoes based on the size, and we would go in here, and on your inspection card, it will say wrong size. So you would note that on there that it is the wrong size. We have a little bit more leeway and flexibility with cleats and with dance shoes because they do get scuffed up and a little bit more excessive wear and tear on that, but you do want to make sure that there's not a lot of dirt on the heels because that is something that makes it unsellable. The consignor can clean that up. We have supplies that are available, so you can write that on the slip and encourage them to take a couple extra minutes cleaning them up and then resubmit it for inspection. Snow boots are something we do not accept for the spring summer sale. They would go back to the consignor and we would tell them to bring those for the fall. These particular boots, we would take them because they're pink, but you can see they're really dirty and they're really scuffed up, so these would also be rejected. Rain boots are perfectly fine for the spring sale. These are a little bit dirtier on the bottom. Again, we could clean those up a little bit, but overall these are in good shape and we would accept them. And again, here's another pair of snow boots. These are really scuffed up on the toe. We wouldn't accept it for that reason alone, but also they're the improper season. So once you've assessed all of that, these will go on a table to go back to the consignor. These will go into bins sorted by size and by gender. And then at various points throughout drop-off, we're going to be putting those out onto the sales floor. And that you're all done.